Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the History of Fan Anime. I'm your host, William Chow, and today's episode is another milestone episode. We've reached episode 100, okay? So, I mean, it took a long time to get here, and, like most things, it's a lot of hard work and a lot of, time, that went into putting in, together all of these various episodes and that kind of stuff, to get to this point. And so I just wanted to go and reflect a little bit on what I've done and and where this is going to continue on with. Okay, so when I first started this series, I wanted to basically get my story out there. I wanted to basically inform people that there's this sort of era of anime that we've kind of went through, and not very many people, especially in the modern era, know that we've went through this because again, what has happened is that this new generation of anime fans more or less have grown up with anime already, as part of their sort of a part of their culture. They've had it on TV. They can go down to a local store or a bookstore, even for example, like Chapters, and they'll see manga and stuff, on the shelf. They can go to the public library and they can see manga, on, and graphic novels and that kind of stuff, right on the shelf. And, so they basically had ready access to anime. So it almost seems like they've always had it. And they've, gotten this sort of, entitlement that, they deserve anime or they have, they're allowed their anime, okay? Something that's always been part of their fabric of them growing up, okay? And of course, people of my era, know that this was never was the case, okay? We had to struggle to get our anime. We had to do actually research to source it out and gain all this gain the anime. You have to this whole process of transferring media and and all this extra legwork to get the anime. So for that reason, it means something a little different to us. And again, to basically put out a series like this to basically illustrate and tell stories about the different things that we had to do in order to get anime, and just sort of educate people that there was a stage and there was this time in anime that this kind of things happened, okay, and it helps paint a picture of what the environment was like and what the different sort of factors that we had in order to gain this culture or this genre as we know as anime, okay. And so again, I'm long from getting done. Obviously, there's many different topics which I haven't covered, and there's many different more things I need to fill in about the different topics of anime. Okay, so as I said earlier, I was going to start breaking down some of the episodes that I have and put it into a kind of a book-like format. So basically, all the related chapters, if you will, dealing with a particular topic. Let's say, for example, cosplay, for example, are all going to be now sort of indexed and numbered in a certain way. So again, for those people who are watching this for the first time and wondering, oh well, can I get more episodes about, say, cosplay? You can go right into my playlist, and I have also a separate playlist which is all reorganized and re-indexed according to the content. Okay, so it'd be like basically a chapters in a book, like a table of contents of a book. And then basically all related topics to cosplay will be all grouped together, in that particular chapter, so that if you're really interested in that topic, you can zoom in and get right in there. Or if you're interested in topics about fan subbing, for example, and the mechanics of it, the ethics of it, and all that kind of stuff, they're all going to be located in a certain section. Okay, and so again, I will slowly continue taking the episodes I've made and inserting them into that playlist and making a sort of almost like a book-like reference, shall we say, of all the episodes that I've done in that format. Okay, so again, please have a look and check that out. If you see different topics that you like, by all means, you can look at that as well. So I'm going to continue basically adding more stories and more chapters, as you will, to this book-like format, so that so that I can give and cover all the different various topics that are out there. And again, if you have any suggestions and for ideas and topics, what you even like, okay, I really enjoy reading your comments. And I take a lot of creative criticism about the topics. I like to listen to the fact that you like to hear more convention stories, or more stories about the olden days, if you will, or the golden era of anime. I like to provide those type of more episodes, because you are the viewers, and I like to basically make it entertaining for you, because those are stories that you want to hear, and definitely there are a lot of stories and a lot of good things that has happened in that time that I'd love to cover. Okay, so again, I've got other topics that I'm going to cover as well. So I mean, definitely, there's a lot more to come. Okay, I'm also getting into a lot of archival stuff, because I'm going into archives and I'm pulling out a lot of things, and and that includes even large devices. Like, for example, just recently I've pulled my Paradise dancing machine out of archives, and I'm gonna basically do a whole bunch of things having to do with that, and I'm gonna do other video games, that kind of stuff as well, because as I said, that was also a very integral part of how anime grew, because I said a lot of the marketing and that kind of stuff that happened with anime was also tied into video games. So a lot of, for example, anime video games and that kind of stuff also rose with the culture at the same time. So I'll do a few episodes and cover that as well. Okay, so what you guys want to do right now is if you haven't pressed like and you haven't subscribed, please do so. I mean, it doesn't really matter to me so much that whether or not I'm going to hit my magical mark of 1,000 subscribers or whatever, or whether YouTube's and has this different sort of structure for whatever. Because I said, the most important thing about this is that I'm basically presenting content that people aren't going to be able to tell you out there. And as I said, a lot of there's lots of anime reviewers and anime they'll take different things and do reviews of stuff, and there's lots of people who have different sort of shticks about how they present their anime and that kind of stuff. But I realize that in the end, the content will dictate itself, because that's what you people out there are interested in. That's what you want to know about. That's what you want to learn about. Those are the stories that you want to hear. It's not some crazy presenter swearing every other word and trying to make a joke out of things and whatever, because again, that shtick will get old, and then you'll lose interest, because once the content is over, or once the content starts repeating itself, then it's no longer interesting. Or if for example, the younger new generation people like to play video games or stream them or whatever. But again, same thing happens, is that once the game becomes old and you don't have any more new content, then it becomes really hard to keep your audience engaged. It's only how much your personality will carry you, as it were. So again, in this industry and with so much stuff out there, it's really the content. It's it's the amount of things that and can show that will really propel you ahead. And again, I'm going to follow that mantra and continue giving you new material, giving you new ideas and new stories that will continue to hopefully entertain you, and of course also educate you a little bit about how it was back in this golden era of anime that we now more or less take for granted. Okay, so again, if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and hit subscribe. It definitely will keep you up to date of when I get all my new episodes and that kind of stuff out. Okay, so with a lot more to come. All right, I will see you again.